What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. My name is Sharena. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, put the notifications on, all that good stuff. Don't forget it. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a sublimation doormat. Okay, the doormats are from the Home Depot, but they are not called sublimation doormats. So I don't want you to go searching sublimation doormats and they don't pop up. These doormats are just plain doormats sold by the Home Depot, but they just so happen to be 100% polyester. So, you know, anything of a high polyester count, especially 100% like these doormats, you can sublimate on. Also, in this video, if you have a small sublimation printer like I do, I know the road is tough, but we're going to get there. We're going to upgrade one day. But if you just so happen to have a small sublimation printer like I do, this is the Epson 4800. I'm going to show you how to print large and how to achieve your printing goals. Okay, I'm gonna show you today. I've done it before, but I'm gonna show you again. Also, download the app Silhouette Studio. You're gonna need it. If you watch any of my sublimation videos, you know I always print from Silhouette Studio. I wish y'all stopped printing straight from the computer. That's why your prints come out wrong. You're printing straight from the computer. You can't do that all the time. Get in the habit of printing from somewhere else. I don't care if it's Microsoft Word. You got Adobe. You got what's the other one called? I don't know. But it's so many other options you can print from other than just straight from the computer, y'all. Sometimes it alters the sizes of y'all images and y'all say, well, my size came out too small or too big. That's because you print straight from the computer. Okay, I'm doing my little rant. Back to the doormats. Also, I'm not a graphic designer by no means, but I'm gonna show y'all today how to design a little bit. I'm a simple designer. It's a lot of people that get deep down in the Canva. I can't do all that, but I'm gonna show you the basics. Even if you have to Google images to put on the doormat, that's a-okay. But I'm gonna show you how I do my doormats today. And then, you know, once you see the process, the little light bulb will come on up there, and then I think y'all will have it. And a lot of people have been asking me, do a tutorial on the doormats. I've done a tutorial on the doormat. It's on my page, y'all. But I haven't done a full image doormat tutorial, and that's what I'm doing today. So let's get into the video. All right, first things first, y'all, we'll need some sublimation paper, 8.5 by 14. This is at Hobby Lobby or Amazon. Next, for our printer, we will need to change the paper size under our print settings. So you want to go under your paper source settings, and then you want to change your paper size from letter to user defined. Under user defined, you can then change the page size. So we're going to set it to a 14-inch length and then leave it at an 8.5-inch width. Okay, now we got the printer set. We can go over to Canva so we can start designing. You want to start out in inches, and you want your canvas size to be a 24.8 width by a 12.8-inch height. This is going to be the print size for our doormats. I'm going to change the color of the canvas from white to black. And then I'm going to go over to elements and search bricks or brick background just so we can have a background. And then I'm going to go under graphics and find one that I like. I found this one, and I'm going to change the color of the outline of the bricks from black to white so that they can stand out since our canvas is black. And then I'm going to duplicate it and pull it or drag it to the side for the other side of our canvas. Next, I'm going to go back over to elements and grab a square. And I'm just going to minimize it a little bit and drag it all the way down. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to drag it across. So it's going to make like a cross through the doormat. Again, y'all, I'm not big on designing. But next, I'm going to go online and look for a Pittsburgh Steelers logo. I want one to be in a circle so it can be in the center of our doormat. Then I'm going to save it to the computer. Once I save it, I'm going to go over to uploads on Canva and upload it onto our canvas. And then I'm going to remove the background. It took away all the white, but it's fine. Next, I'm going to change the lines that's in the center of the mat that's crossing to the yellow that's in the Pittsburgh Steelers logo. And then I'm going to go over to elements and grab a circle. I'm going to change the circle to white, and then I'm going to expand it until it's large enough to where it's in the center of the doormat, where it's nice and big. Not too big, but a good size. And then I'm going to position the Steelers logo back to the front. And then I'm going to just make it big as well, but not too big, because I want the white circle to be like a white offset. And then I'm done. And this is it. This is all I do. This is all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to mass share, and then I'm going to download it and save it to my computer. Now to print, again, I'm printing from Silhouette Studio. Y'all download the app. It's free. It's just like Cricut Design Space, but it's for another cutting machine. So I have my page in landscape, so I'm going to change it back to portrait. All right. Before you do anything, go to print. I know it's nothing on there to print, but go to print. Pick your sublimation printer, go to preferences. You want to make sure your document size is under user defined, under 8.5 by 14. Click apply and then cancel the whole print process. That's going to make sure that your print is set to user defined before you even get the print. You want to go to files, open up your image, and you want to change it back to a 24.8 by 12.8. All right, these next few steps is crucial, so pay attention. Minimize your page at the top so you can see it all in one page. Minimize your page. You want to drag your image to where it's in the center of your white page. Your white page is your canvas. Whatever is on a white page is what's going to print. Grab you the knife over on the left, the bottom option, and then you drag it down. Go back to your cursor. Now you can move it away, and you're going to keep doing this. Grab your knife, drag it down the image to cut it, to slice it. Now, I will say the numbers that's going to be down at the bottom, you will see numbers down at the bottom. Those are your, that's letting you know the degree angle that the line is in. So if you don't see numbers show up, that means that your line is a straight line. If you see numbers, don't let the mouse go yet, because it's not going to cut in a straight line. So again, dragging my image over, grabbing my knife, pulling it down, cutting it, grabbing my cursor, and moving it away. So now I have 4 prints. I got 4 cuts, so it's going to be 4 prints. Whatever is on the page is what's going to print. Go back over to print. Once you go to print, it should print. It should show you a full print preview. As you can see, the image is hanging below our page. But once you get the print preview, it's going to show you that the whole thing is now going to print. Mash print, choose your sublimation printer, make sure all of your options are correct. Presentation matte, make sure it's set to mirror, and then you can print. You're going to keep going through the same process for each print. You got 4 prints. Once you have all your prints, like I said, we got 4 prints. Lay them in order so you know exactly which ones you're going to tape together. You want to be in order. You don't want to mess around and press in your stuff backwards and not in the right order. You want to cut the border off one, like I'm doing right here, and then you put it with the other one like a puzzle. I take mine at the bottom, I line them up, and then I take another piece of heat tape, y'all, another piece of heat tape, and I lay it flat, and so that I can tape the other piece at the top behind it. I flip it over. I lay a big old piece of tape at the back along the seam. I make sure everything is nice and taped at the back, because you don't want anything moving out of place. Again, cutting the border off one side and taping it to the other side. Line it up and tape it. Tape it at the bottom. And then I use another piece of tape at the top. Lay it flat. Make sure both the pieces stick together. And it's not that hard, y'all. But you do, when you cut in the border, you do have to have a steady hand. You want to cut right on the line. I promise you, if you leave some white showing, it's going to show up on the doormat, and it's not going to look good. If you're still watching and you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate y'all. Okay, now we got the image nice and taped. I do cut off all the white border. Now you don't have to cut along the seam on this part, but you do want to cut close to the image. You know what I'm saying? Just cut away the white border. You don't need all that white border. Okay, now you want to take your doormat. We got our doormat. Flip your image over and you want to tape it in the center. Now I'm going to use painter's tape as well. Painter's tape, duct tape, blue tape, whatever. And I use a good long piece and I tape it down the seam, and then I tape it at the, use some leftover tape and tape it at the back. This is going to keep your image in place so it ain't moving around, you know. That's how you get ghosting. When the paper start moving around, that's how you get the ghost. So, and then I'm going to take my heat tape, my clear heat tape, and just tape the rest of the image down. I'm going to use my small handheld heat press to press. I do 60 seconds. My temperature is at 395 each area for 60 seconds. Yes, it takes me some time. And the results are a lot better than using a big heat press. If you want to use a big heat press, you can. But I'm going to show you in a few why I don't. But it does take me some time. If you're going to be using a big heat press, you can't peel back each section to see what specific area needs more press. Sometimes you will have light spaces to where you just need to press it a little longer. You see, like that. And you can't work up under that hot heat plate on a big heat press and do all of this. So that's why I use my handheld. And I can get a closer look at what areas that I need to press more so that my colors are vibrant and I don't have much fading. And each time that I peel the image back, I remove a piece of tape. So every time that I peel it back, I remove a piece of tape and I hit the spots that needs pressing more. And I do this through the whole doormat. That way, nothing is moved out of place, if that makes sense. Y'all, I know this is a long process, and I hope y'all understanding what I'm saying, or at least can visualize what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't use a big heat press. I use my handheld because every time I use the big heat press, I get ghosting, I get fading, a lot of fading, and it's not as vibrant because I can't see what areas I missed. And so this way, it comes out perfect, in my opinion. Voila, that's it, y'all. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Again, you can use a big heat press, but I promise you, a smaller heat press is going to take a little more time, but the results will be a whole lot better. And I'm going to take the mat outside so you can get a better view of it. But this it, y'all. We done. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, y'all. I got a lot of good things that I got coming. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than glad, more than happy to get those answered for you. And this is the final look. Let me know what y'all think about it, if y'all gonna try these out or not. And I'll see y'all in the next video.